So these are the 4-4-1-1 tactics that I went undefeated with this weekend league, and I've been using them for a little while. Let's start with a goalkeeper. Sweeper, keeper, on balance. Probably the best role you can use for your goalkeeper. I don't know if any of you lads disagree with that one.
I used to exclusively run like sweeper keeper, but okay, why do you run sweeper keeper?
Because he's a bit less stationary on his line. He actually comes out when you press Y. And you've got to have goalkeeper rush as well. I don't really think the goalkeeper roles make too much of a difference, to be honest, but it's just the one I've always sworn by. So it just seems like the most reliable for me.
Is it absolutely essential for this 4-4-1-1? If you don't have sweeper keeper, are you losing out on something?
It'll break the whole formation if you don't have Onana running out. You need him. Anyway, moving on from goalkeepers.
Wait. Does he run out if it's just a 1-on-1, or does he run out just when you're in the box anyway and the guy's like fidget spinning around in your box? So does he come out automatically or not?
Yeah, well, not automatically, but we'll send him out. Actually, a pretty good tactic. I'll give that one a go and let you know how I get on with it.
Yeah, cheers.
Anyway,
who is your keeper?
Onana, I've evoed him up. He's amazing. You got saves with feet, which is important at this stage in the game.
Stop it!
And then he's got far reach, deflector. What else has he got? Comes cross claimer. He's pretty much got all the play styles other than one of them. I don't know. There's one. Yeah, there's one that he's not. These do knock up, but I mean, the more play styles, the better on your goalkeeper. But anyway, moving on for goalkeepers because they're boring. Centre backs, defender and defend.
Refreshing.
I mean, nothing too adventurous there. Yeah. I think, to be honest, you cause yourself issues by turning them off defend and defend. You want them to move as little as possible.
Has anybody tried stopper? Sorry, have anyone actually tried stopper?
I quite like ball playing defender. But
I don't like anything that because
I tried stopper.
Don't say silly.
They went mental. They just run out like lunatics. Like, no, go back. So yeah, I see why people run defend.
I feel as if if you're going to run a different role on your centre back, they have to match. Because if you have one on stopper and then one on defender, they just leaves loads of pockets of space. You're either all in or nothing. And I'd rather just have nothing and just leave.
We've got Onana on sweeper keeper, so you can know more about.
Yeah, I don't need defence. We just got Onana. He's amazing. He is amazing. I bought the Man United version as well because he's the best thing to come out of La Masia.
As a dislike, well done.
Yeah. the fullbacks are both on, again, quite a boring role, but fullback balanced. However, for me, if I'm playing someone that is using a 4-5-1, I'm not opposed to changing this to false back defend just to help me with numbers in midfield because it just helps overpower them.
Are you talking about both fullbacks and false back defend or just one?
Both. I love both. Yeah, because the thing is, when you're playing someone using a 4-5-1, they're not really utilising the wings, so you can get away with changing from fullback balanced into something that's going to help you win that midfield battle. Whereas I think a lot of people are too scared to move the fullbacks out. The only time I wouldn't move the fullbacks out is if they're using something like a 4-2-1-3, like Alex's 4-2-1-3, or anything with wingers because they'll exploit that in the pockets. Or if you notice that they've got something like winger on their left mid, right mid, maybe you only change the one side to false back. You just need to understand what your opponent's trying to do with that one.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the false back option is a good option. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a presence in midfield. I think it's a good option.
And I think as well, it operates the way it should, whereas wing back doesn't really do what I want it to at the moment. I need them to be either a bit more aggressive but stay a bit further wide than what they're doing right now, which is just not what I'm getting out of those. So fullback balance to start with, and then if you find that they're just struggling to break someone down, then having them on false back is going to help you out a lot. And then the centre mid, so my right centre mid, we're using Bon Mati. And if you're confused by the plus next to her, we use the season pass Evo on her. So she's got box to box on the plus, which is quite useful, to be fair, for box. And we use the focus ball winning, which I absolutely love. So essentially, she's going to give you a passing option going forward. She's going to kind of make her way past the cam and almost next to the striker. But more importantly, when you lose the ball, she transitions really well back as well. And I think that's what you get with the box-to-box is that they work hard going forward and they work hard getting back. But because of that, if they don't have Relentless, or sometimes even if they do have Relentless, you are going to need to swap that player out because they will get tired late on.
How do you find her in terms of winning the ball, like tackling-wise and stuff like that?
Now, sometimes if you're facing more physical attackers, which she may struggle, but to be honest, you can tackle with anyone. Have you seen the way Pina tackles in this game? Yeah. She's insane. I think if you get the right side of someone, you can tackle. Whereas if they're making the use of something like an enforcer, then you are going to struggle a bit more. Because she's got decent pace, she's got like 85 pace, she's able to get back in quite nicely. So that kind of counteracts it. What I will say is that having a more physical midfielder next to someone, if you're using like a Bon Mati, is going to be quite useful because the legs and the reach does help out a lot. No other questions on that? I'll push on. So the left centre mid is on deep line playmaker and defend. So I did experiment on builder, but I found I was getting hit too hard on the counters. So I do recommend just leaving this one on defend because they're going to sit in that pocket and essentially just be there to pick up the passes deep and just be almost like the start of your attack. And I'm using the Busquets in this position, which is super, super nice. I mean, he is so good. To be honest, I was looking at him and he is lacking a few play styles. You know, he's only got 5, but they are 5 really good ones. One thing I do find I'm missing in this midfield is someone with like an intercept or something like that, because intercept really does help out in that midfield area. But for me, the most important thing is having tiki-taka on these centre mids. Both of them need to have tiki-taka. Doesn't need to be the plus, but plus is amazing. Well, if you look at the players I'm using in that midfield, I think they've all got the base, but I've got 3 players on tiki-taka plus, which is insane.
Interesting that you've been glazing De Jong all week. And
yeah,
then
I was just thinking that. I was about to say
De Jong is nowhere to be seen. And you've gone for Busquets and Bon Mati, which is interesting. So just observation.
No, well, I mean, he is there or thereabouts, and he's a great super sub, to be fair. But Bon Mati,
you're not super subbing De Jong. I'm not having that for a second.
I can't wait to see your bench. It's got like lone R9 on there and stuff.
It's got my Evo Pele on there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Pele ain't in this team actually, but
I just think someone like a Bon Mati on a box to box in terms of what she offers you in attack is just like she's probably the best cam in the game, but just because of her height and all her stats.
I'll be honest with you, I'm sick of her and Pina.
I love them both. I'll never get sick of them. I'm trying to pack the special Pina, and when that happens, it's over for everyone.
Am I right in thinking that this is essentially like a 5 defend, 5 attack setup, right? With Busquets being like the pivot of the attack.
Yeah, but the problem with the flat midfield is that you do need to drag him back. He doesn't sit too deep because he's on you could make him defend a bit just exclusively defend by using holding ball winning, so he doesn't get forward at all. But he does take a few steps forward, and he is there to receive a pass when you get to the edge of your opponent's box. But he doesn't commit so far forward that he causes a problem for you on the counter attack. I think the midfield has a really nice balance. But again, having players I think all my midfields have tiki-taka, incisive, long ball, as many passing play styles as you can, because it's going to help you a lot to break down those 4-5-1s.
Do you find that if you lose the ball in a transition, say if you are passing around and get hit on the counter that way, do you find that the midfield doesn't get back quick enough, or do they get back all right in terms of helping out?
Bon Mati gets back better than Busquets just because of the role. The box to box I find I think the reason why that's so effective is because it naturally gets back. You don't need to drag her back so much, whereas the deep line playmaker, I feel like you have to select this card and just drag it back, otherwise they won't get back in position. Well, at least as deep as you'd like them to. I did experiment having both players on box to box, but I find that you tend to lose the passing option on the edge with that one, which isn't ideal. They defend okay, but sometimes you'll find both of them get into the box. You'll be with the winger or with the inside forward, and then there'll be no passing options in the centre because they've kind of bombed on. So having that deep line playmaker pretty much guarantees you'll have a pass on every single time. When you look to the top of the box, you'll guaranteed to have Busquets there, which is nice. And then you'll have Bon Mati that gets into the box and creates an overload. That box-to-box play will score you lots of goals. Moving on to the left mid and right mid. So I've got one on inside forward, so my right mid is on inside forward and balanced. I do sometimes change this to attack. If I find the person sending their fullback on, I'll just have them attack that space a bit more, but just as balance for a starting point. And essentially that's just so I've got someone next to my striker that is going to be chipping in with a lot more goals. I think it's fairly standard. I think most people use the inside forward on the left mid, right mids at this stage in the game at least. But it gets more interesting on the left side where I use winger. And this is it's such an underrated role. I'll keep on banging this drum forever. It's amazing because you just create so much width, and then you find when you're playing against most people, the congestion's in the middle. So when you've got the winger, how free they are for the cross-field pass or just for the overload, they're always there. And you can use the balanced variation of that, or you can use the attacking variation. They're both really good. The only time I'd really use the attacking variation is if you play someone like Alex's 4-2-1-3 with the fullbacks pushing on. You can really push that winger into the space that they leave. It's just understanding how much give you want, how much give you have in terms of their fullbacks. But for the most part, they're just there to create the width.
I'm quite surprised that, I thought you would have had it the other way round. So I'm just curious to know that because on the right hand side you've got box to box on the centre mid, and then you've got on that right hand side inside forward. So you've got one that's attacking down the middle, but then you've got the wide player coming narrow. Mm-hmm. Whereas on the other side you've got a player out wide, but then you don't have anyone that's kind of going into that space of the deep line playmaker on defend.
Yeah.
So what's your thought process there?
So I've tried it always, to be honest, and what I find is that when you've got the box to box and the inside forward on the same side, you have a lot. Because I'm using tiki-taka a lot, they're in quite close proximity to each other. So you're able to play those quick 1-2 passes. You get so many opportunities with the box-to-box to play the double tap through balls through to the inside forward when they're cutting in. I just find the passing options a lot better. Whereas the winger for me is there. If I'm finding someone is really, really packed in, I've got that option out wide that no one's marking to send it out wide and just create the width that side and make my way to the byline.
Where do you find, I know you haven't talked about the cam roll yet, but I'm going to spoiler alert, the cam roll's on playmaker balance. But where do you find that they kind of pick up? What positions are they kind of taking up to kind of get involved in the attack?
So for me, they tend to just sit. To be honest, I could get away with using a classic 10 because that's the kind of role they kind of play. They sit in between that space, between your centre midfield and the striker. They do push on, so you'll find they do score a lot of goals. So having someone, I use Messi. I prioritise the passing play styles, but having people that can, or players that can score in this position is so important because they do pop up. I did try at the start of the game to use a lot of shadow striker, but I find you lose so many triangles when you go into shadow striker because there's no one there. You may as well play a 2-striker set if you're going to use the shadow striker, because at least then you can tweak it to false 9 and attacking. So they kind of play that role, but they don't completely disappear. They almost go further than your striker on a shadow striker, which I don't like. So they're just there to kind of pull the strings for me. Again, for play styles in that cam area, having tiki-taka, incisive, and I definitely one of the shooting play styles on at least a silver, so a silver finesse or a silver low driven is going to help you out a lot there.
I find it a bit ironic in some ways that we all have Messi.
He's amazing though, isn't he?
But it's just because of how cheap he is.
Yeah.
Normally everyone has one player and he's like, oh yeah, but he's millions. Messi, I don't even know how much Messi is. He's like, what? I dread to say 20k or less.
But mine's the informed version, mate. I splashed out a little bit for that one.
You can't.
Palmer to have a cheap player.
I'm so sorry. Well, me and Alex have got the gold version, all right? So he doesn't have the extra +1 and the stats.
It's definitely not worth it.
He's so good, though, isn't he, though, Messi? You can play him as a striker. I've even put him out wide sometimes on a winger.
He's 7k.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The difference between the inform and the goal version is literally negligible. I just use it for the dynamic image. I just love having the dynamic images. And the difference between the promo card, what promo was he in? Was it Ratings Reload that he had the one with the finesse shot in it? The only difference is really the finesse shot. I think it's an 800k difference. His base silver finesse shots are fine. Literally insane. It's game over. But the
Ronaldo fans are going to come out in full fashion about him, put it like that.
the thing is, you're going to be able, when it is time to evo him, he's going to get a massive pace boost. Because that's the stage in the game we're going to be at. So he's going to go from 80 pace to close to 90. He's just going to be ridiculous. And he's already got the base quick step. So he doesn't even feel slow. It's like Pina. She's got 79 pace, but she doesn't particularly feel slow.
That link to Pina was crazy.
Shameless Pina link.
It's a typical Barcelona fact.
I've made a big mistake talking about Messi because now he's just going to talk about it for 20 minutes.
Honestly,
so who have you got up front then? Let's get away from Messi quick. Who have you got up front?
I got Etienne, or however he says his first name, Etienne Eto'o, the son of Samuel Eto'o, and I evoed him through probably about 6 or 7 evos. There was a massive evo change to take him from a bronze to an 84 rated gold, but he's insane.
those really bad evos that Alex hates. Yeah.
Well, he's got finesse shot plus, which
6
is
evos, but
unreal.
four meaningless evos and 2 evos get him to 84.
Yeah, he went into, what did he go? Screamo first to take him from a bronze to like a silver, and then he went and then I put him into
the names is crazy.
El Capitan to give him the finesse shot and a big shooting bust, and then Spooky Striker then to take him from 79 to 84. So he's stuck at 84.
Can you break down the exact stat boost that he got?
I want to know every level of how much of the pluses they got.
I put Trickster on him as well, so he can do the special fake shots as well.
I love how he just ignored us.
Yeah,
because I can't go through the exact stat boost, but I can tell you that he is phenomenal. And Evos are back, by the way. They are so good at the minute. Like, I'm really, really enjoying them. But anyway, back to the tactic. It is advanced forward, and he's got the plus version of it. I don't think you need a plus or a plus in many roles in this game. I think fullbacks is really useful, centre backs is useful, and on the wing, I think, but essentially you can get away with having no plus or plus. Are
there any last kind of tweaks you did make at all? I mean, you haven't played any champs games yet, but if you were to play any games with this actual tactic, would there be any tweaks that you'd make if you kind of like were chasing a goal, or if you were kind of holding on to a lead in the last 5?
So the only thing that I love triggering, so I don't know many people know about it or use it. On the D-pad, when you change all the roles to attacking, have
you heard of a player lock?
Oh, I thought that's what you were going with it then. I thought I love to use a player lock to get that space, you know. I was like, oh God, here we go again.
Don't get me started on player locks now, because I will be here all night.
If you're struggling to get out of Division 9, if you just learn how to player lock, you'll fly through the divisions.
Yeah, easy.
Exactly.
But no, the changes for me, I would probably go into something like a 4-4-2. Out of this, just so you got that extra strike and you push up on their back line, similar to what NaNNiK was doing with 4-1-2-1-2, looking to put as much pressure on as possible. And then I've got a variation, obviously, when you've got the false backs, you flood in the midfield, then you could probably change one of the centre mid to box to push them on as well, because then you've got the false backs that are covering that midfield area, and then having your winger on attack or your inside forward on attack. Sometimes I just push them into the attacking focus just to put a little bit more pressure on their back line. I also, on the striker, like to put, I think it's complete. Is it complete? You can change the focus to on advanced forward, and that just adds a little bit more AI press. It tires your striker out, but the amount of like steals you'll get is quite amazing, to be honest. It's just not something that you can keep him in, otherwise you'll get really tired.
So if you just listen to all that, basically what Aaron said is he brings on Pina and then gets to win that way of Pina. If he needs to make it a tactical change, just put Pina on.
Brings
Pina
on Pina
and De Jong as the box.
Oh, De Jong, yes. I forgot
who
about
refuses to start.
And Evo Pale and Nico Williams and all the players that are fast, really.
Did you do the, just really quickly off topic, but did you do the 100k Evo?
Yeah. Yeah, that's on Cliver.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to
check. So
I knew you'd do it. I said that. So basically, if you wonder what's going on here, I made a joke. I think I've written a stream the other day. I don't think Aaron was there, but I was like, there'll be one man. I think it was in Alex's stream actually, but there'll be one man that would defend this 100k Evo, and it'll be you. And what a surprise you've done it.
I was already, like, as soon as it came out, I was calculating the chains, and then I saw Cliver, and he was in my club, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And he's the son of Patrick Kluivert, so there's a Barcelona link in there somewhere.
You'll get the upgrades as well because the card type doesn't change.
Yeah. So I put him into the.
No, Aaron, we don't need a history of your Kluivert. I can't deal.
Both the dribbling evos, and then he went into
Iron Lungs 10 times. He's got plus 10 stamina.
He got intercept plus from the season. He's got press proven from the cup. I give him defender plus from the gauntlet, and then I whacked him into it, and now he's like 96 rated on Foot GG.
So basically, what Aaron's saying is next week or the week after, Ronald Koeman will be playing centre back when he gets the dribbling icon.
Yeah, basically. Long story short. But that is the 4-4-1-1, lads. Leave in the comments what formation you're using, and please like and subscribe to the channel. We are new and we are absolutely blown away by the support we've had so far, and we'll catch you in another one.